Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn is one of my personal favorite series from the entire Gundam franchise, and it sort of feels kind of weird seeing this entire thing all over again, but I actually enjoyed watching the very first episode of RE 0096. The very first scene the viewer is greeted with is the scene where Banadra and his father part ways, and his father unfortunately dies, and Banadra gets in a Unicorn Gundam for the very first time. And scenes like this is the reason why I really love the series. They take something simple and generic that we've seen many times, such as child and father, part ways because the parent is dying, and they make it emotionally powerful due to how fitting and just good the music is in the scene, and the way the characters' animations just match, and the OST and animation from the characters themselves just merge together and perform a wonderful expression towards the viewer. And that's what I really adore about Unicorn. I think one of the strong points for the series is the emotional message it sends towards the viewer. And yeah, I know you guys are probably like, holy shit Fox, you're incredibly cheesy by just saying that, but seriously guys, one of the best selling points an anime could possibly do to make me watch it is just to have really emotionally powerful scenes like this, because it really does leave an impression on the viewer if you can actually experience something as good as, well, what Unicorn does best is emotionally powerful scenes. And in regards to the actual music that was in this episode, the typical Unicorn Gundam OST soundtrack, it's just same stuff we heard before. It's obviously very good, but we're used to it if you are an avid Unicorn fan like myself. But the first opening for this series was just awesome. Like, I actually like this song a lot. It's hella sick. The only thing that was kind of weird was how the opening itself is kind of like one of those AMVs that you see on YouTube that are not bad. They're okay. It was like I was watching an AMV of Unicorn Gundam scenes put together. That's what I kind of got from it. But anyways, in regards to the actual ending for the series, I don't know guys, like, I didn't really like it that much. Did you guys like it that much? If I were to rate it out of 10, I would probably give it a 6. It didn't really leave a good first impression on myself, honestly. And, maybe if I listen to it a few times, I'll grow to like it. But honestly, it didn't sound that good to me. It just wasn't that good. Another thing that I want to kind of discuss here is how many fans of this series were really disappointed in the fighting scenes, especially Neo Zeon, where FAAUC and Norn go against it. And they even show like the little scenes in the opening too, like they show everything. So that makes me kind of wonder, are they even going to change the opening endings, down the line? Maybe they will, who knows? But people have generally been kind of disappointed with how, towards the ending of the entire anime series kind of went. And hopefully they will probably fix it down the line and, brush it up a bit. And also, this is my personal pet peeve about the series as a whole, was how, we have all these like side characters such as Mikot, right? From what I remember when I watched the OVAs, she was there, but she wasn't really involved as much as she should have been, and that slightly goes for his other friends as well. They're pretty much just pushover side characters that, they're like, hey, what's up, I'm here, but I really don't matter, like I wish they would kind of emphasize them and make them stand on their own as a character, And I don't know about you guys, but if I remember correctly, they didn't actually show some of the grunt suits that was featured in the novels, and they just didn't even decide to put them in OVAs. So hopefully we'll be able to see them in the revamp of this series. But moving on, one of the memorable scenes in this entire episode was of course where Banadra and his father part ways, but that isn't actually part of this episode. It's just a little greeting to the viewer, which will probably happen in the next episode if things are gonna go smoothly as I hope they will. And hopefully they will like speed this up a bit, because there's about 25 episodes I believe. But anyways, the fight between Kshatriya and the Jigen, I fucking love that. That was one of my favorite fights in the entire OVA series, That was just so cool seeing Kshatriya launch for the very first time and take out those two Jigens, which are Scrub Lords, and then you see the other guy, who I think was a pilot in Char's counterattack or something. I can't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't just take that for a grain of salt. But it was really cool to see and experience again. I really loved that fight, guys. But overall, it was really nice to see Unicorn all over again, and it's a good thing for me, honestly, because I'll get to relive the nostalgia. and eventually it will go all the way up to Full Arm Unicorn and Norn versus Neo Zeon, which will hopefully be a very enjoyable fight to see. So lastly, what's really exciting to see is pretty much all the newcomers to Gundam Unicorn itself, and if you're a new fan to the series, then holy crap dude, you're going to enjoy this series a lot. It's hella freaking good, trust me. And you know, there's many opinions about this series, but honestly, the mech design, music, and scenes in this entire series is just amazing to go through. You're gonna have a good time watching this. One last thing to mention is that you can watch this episode and future episodes completely free and legal on a site called Daisuki. These subtitles are really good and the quality is top notch. So for those of you that aren't actually new to this anime, how did you think the pacing of this episode went, as well as some things that you hope and wish that they actually change in the future? And for those of you that are actually new to the series and thought this was, you know, not the most exciting episode, trust me, it gets a lot better in the future. Just sit tight and just let the magic happen, dude. Because the fights in the future episodes are going to be hella sick, believe me, it gets really interesting. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.